So welcome.
Thank you.
Before we crack on, like this has come about quickly. It may not seem it for you, but it seems it to me. I've been around since donkeys and carts. And suddenly I started seeing your face.
Yeah.
And then on my algorithm and da-da-da-da-da. And then I saw the name and I was like, well, that's a follow.
Yeah.
And then you blew up.
Yeah.
I don't even like how and where, because people ask me and I'm like, I didn't blow up. I'm like a 25-year overnight success.
Yeah.
And you guys were obviously so experienced, but how did the social thing click?
Yeah.
How did it go to boom? Here we are. Like, are you a million on TikTok? Nearly a million on TikTok?
Right
Almost there.
We're just inching. I'm like, I hope we get it before they take it away.
And why
Well, we'll
TikTok
see.
and not Insta?
Well, we are on Instagram.
We are on
as
No, I
well.
know, but
Yeah.
TikTok's like the home, isn't it? The home, like my home planet is Insta.
Yes.
But I'm older.
Right.
But you know what's interesting? It's harder to build on Instagram, and I think
Yes.
it's remarkable. We just hit 407,000 today. I don't know what it's going to be by the time you watch this podcast.
Yeah.
But it's so much harder to build on Instagram. So a lot of the times you'll see people that have like multi-millions on TikTok, but like way
Maybe-
less, sometimes 10,000 on
Yeah,
Instagram.
I see that. I'm the opposite. I'm huge on Insta.
Yeah.
TikTok's like, where is she?
Yeah. So I think it's the fact that we've built such a huge audience already in that short time period,
Yes.
just 407,000
That's
is
what I'm saying,
remarkable.
like, it's
On
been-
Instagram.
I think
quick.
something that we've never shared before as I'm reflecting and Christina's talking is that in 2018, I was working as a consultant. I had my own consulting, beauty product development consulting firm. I had a series of clients. One was a manufacturer, and I'll never forget the day that this woman at the manufacturing facility, she was the SVP at the time, she turns around and starts telling me about this new platform called TikTok. And her 7-year-old at the time was on platform doing dance videos. She's like, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. And like I could. It's like that moment where you're in an office, and I imagine it's like the Wall Street moment where someone picks the stock that's gonna be the winner. This was the level of enthusiasm. And then I took that enthusiasm home to my wife, and I said, you know, this thing, TikTok. And at the time, we were quietly building what's a self-funded lipstick company, and this is why we have the handle in the first place, because I convinced Christina 5 years into our relationship that it would be an amazing idea to pool all of our money and put it into launching our own lipstick
Because we
company.
didn't have anything else to do.
Right.
Just kidding. Just working full-time, for me, working a full-time job, getting my PhD, and working at the university. Oh, let's start a beauty brand.
Just a few things she was working on,
Crazy.
and she's
Underachiever.
yeah, very.
It's nauseating, actually.
I
I think I got like envious of how much work you were doing. That I was like, let me just add more to my plate too.
So much you can take.
and we're both type A. So it's like, you know, we put our all into it and we
did.
wanted to do well. You
We
know,
did. And then for us, a lipstick company, they were not transfer-proof lipsticks. They were classic bullets.
beautiful formulas.
Beautiful
Made in Italy.
Italian
we went to
formula.
Italy. Yeah.
And the lesson there was, one, you never self-fund your own business when you don't have an audience or a proof of concept.
Fair.
And also, though, we learned from a holistic perspective what it means to be a beauty founder and an entrepreneur. And we also understood that TikTok changed lives. And Christina really, her doctoral head really just came out. And I remember her studying the platform. And when I mean studying. And she looked at me 2020, 2021. And she looked at me with like the most defiant like eyes. And she said,
I can see that.
she just said, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to crack this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to hack it. And I was just like, okay, babe. Like,
And I kept on saying it too.
and
I
that's
did.
where the antithesis of her chillness comes in. It's this quiet determination that is unrelenting and this like insatiable curiosity. And at the time, you were deep in the Gary V church, I call it.
Well, I just finished my PhD, and I just found Gary Vaynerchuk, and NFTs were booming at the time.
Yeah.
And I found him through VFriends, and so I was interested in that. But you know, it was interesting because through that, I found his messaging of just like how to be on social media, and I really listened to what he said. I like obeyed
And
the
of
church of
course,
Gary
be on it.
Vaynerchuk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And
exist.
Just be on it.
made so much sense. We haven't met him yet, and I swear I'm going to
That will
fangirl
happen.
so hard.
Okay,
when it
so we all need
happens.
to manifest.
We need
Gary
to manifest
V,
Gary
yeah.
Vaynerchuk.
Gary V,
But
we're going
you
to
know-
tag the shit out of you. If you don't meet him without me, I will get on a plane the same day.
I'm glad we're all in the same
We're all on the
church.
same
To
page.
go back, I mean, so Gary Vaynerchuk was
Yeah.
like, you know, three TikToks a day. Just keep going. Just put it out there.
2 to
Don't
3
care
a day.
about
And I
perfection.
remember-
That was before that.
Yeah,
But that was
exactly,
the
because you were
formula.
before video,
right?
And this
I was when he said you go on Twitter, you write 2 tweets, that becomes your next Instagram post,
Right.
and then you just do the full circle
Well,
of, you know.
I also want to emphasize that it wasn't by accident, because I think like a lot of people see an overnight success and like, oh, it might have been by accident. I studied this platform. Also in 2020, I hashtag beauty product development, and I asked Alexis, like, how come no one's beauty product developing on TikTok, on social media?
And of course, I had a smart remark for her, like, we can't share proprietary information.
All right, Coca-Cola.
Yeah, exactly. But it never occurred to her that, wow,
Never.
I can just beauty product evaluate, which is what I do already with the
live
brands already.
products that are out on the market.
And-
It never clicked.
You
That's
know,
what got me in, because that's what I do.
Right.
But I was immediately like, because I didn't know, and I was like, oh, this woman must be in product development.
yes.
Because the way you talk about the
Right.
product.
Yeah.
And, you know, backtrack to us having our first lipsticks that we did made in
2019,
Italy.
we launched this Italian manufactured lipstick, 4 SKUs.
Yeah, I remember posting on Instagram back then, because TikTok wasn't even a thing, like 2018, 2019. And I remember posting an image of those lipsticks in Italy, hashtagging made in Italy, because to me, I thought it was very much like the fashion industry. And I am not in the beauty industry. I'm in education, you know, like, so I'm learning so much on this journey. And I thought that the things that Alexis explained to me, and I'm very spoiled, right? Because I have this expert around me all the time that's a beauty product developer and evaluator.
Also a makeup artist.
And
I
makeup
do her
artists, and
makeup a
all
lot.
these things. I thought people knew this about the beauty industry.
Yeah.
And I would often, you know, during COVID, I would go over to her friend's house and they would take all these products that were unreleased from all around the world that they're developing for brands, and they'd be swatching it, and we would do karaoke, and they would be guessing where it was made.
We'd be drunk evaluating.
They'd be guessing the manufacturer.
Isn't that the best?
Right, but they'd be guessing the country of origin. So, so the
and
first
the supplier, because we'd play the game.
Exactly.
This game that happened literally
By accident.
but also the game that every product developer out there that's listening knows to some extent. When something launches, you're wondering who did it.
right, exactly. When you're behind the
Don't
curtain.
know, and you see and you think, oh, this is classic.
Right.
Right.
XYZ.
Yeah.
And Alexis started to take me to makeup shows, and I got to see all of these manufacturers and really understand how the beauty product development life cycle works and how the beauty industry operates.
She was an outsider,
and-
that was the best part about
Right, and having this beauty brand, I learned so much. So that first viral video is really that game that's just kind of like a synthesis of all of our experiences, which
Right.
was like, okay, so guess where this beauty product is made based on you being a beauty product developer. And it's a game we played once before that first viral video, once or twice, I think.
And it was funny because
And
it was
it went a
also
little
with
viral.
it was also with Makeup by Mario.
Yeah,
it was
but
right before our wedding.
The first video was Makeup by
Yeah.
Mario that really went viral, and it was the
he
new
get
foundation. He
yeah,
did,
yeah.
and he did Alexis's
He's
makeup.
done my makeup. It was one of the most amazing experiences I've had on this journey. There's
Yeah,
many.
It was quite beautiful.
It's a high. He's on the highlight reel, up high for
There's
sure.
been a lot of full circle moments on this journey, but it, you know, it was also around the same time, that video. It was December 27th we filmed it. We posted it December 29th.
And by we, she means she, because I had no idea this was happening.
And it was right also at the same time where TikTok started to shift, not the algorithms, but I think the audience from that desire of short form to more long form.
Yeah.
And it was on the longer side. It was like 47 seconds or something like that.
Wow.
Right? Which is not a 15-second video, which back then, I don't know if you remember, like
Yeah.
TikTok used to be really,
Bam,
really
bam,
short.
bam.
Right. So it was right at that time where people started to expand their desire for longer form content. And we really thrived on longer form content, not long form YouTube, like 45 minutes, but I'm talking about like a minute videos that with juicy information. And so that was the recipe to our success. It was, let's really edutain, right? And build this beauty literacy in this 1 minute to 1 minute 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And it was a challenge because it's not easy to fill in everything that Alexis
No,
knows.
no, it
into
wasn't
these
easy.
short
And it wasn't
videos.
easy to keep me, tame for
Right.
a 60-second video. And like, I'd want to go on for 17 minutes. And
Right.
Christine, we'd be in Sephora and her arm is about to fall off. And she'd be like, all right, babe, come on. Bring it home for me. Let's go.
But
Like,
then I think the dynamic of us together as well, with me asking the questions, because me truly not being in the beauty industry, I think is such a big forte that we have.
Because what's your background? So give us your background.
Yeah, so my background, I was an English teacher for about 8 years. Then I worked in education technology for the New York City Department of Education, now New York City Public Schools. I got my PhD.
Crazy.
It is crazy. I got my PhD in education technology. So for me, I understand how people best learn using digital platforms. So when I was studying TikTok, I was studying it through
How
that
people are
lens
learning.
of how people are learning, what is resonating with people. And that is a big reason as to why our platform is so education-centric first, because I'm asking questions the same way I would ask questions for my students in the classroom too when I was an English teacher, the same way I would ask questions of the teachers and administrators and they were using how to learn these technologies that they weren't familiar with, which happened during COVID, which is a whole other situation, because technology and education during COVID really
Metamorphosis.
was needed.
Yeah.
It was a lifeline, right? Which is a different conversation. But with TikTok and what we've done,
That in itself. And there's
using an education framework with beauty that has now
Yes.
been proven.
And now we've basically merged Christina's education frameworks and her education frameworks and the way to apply them onto the beauty industry.
Right.
And not just onto the industry, but onto something that we have in our course, for example. It's called the Product Development Anchor Wheel. And the way that we're approaching education for product development has never really been done before.
Right.
It's like when Kevin Aquan launched his books on how artists became makeup artists and put that power into the hands of really millions of people, if not more at this point. And the benefit of doing this via video and doing it for free is what's happening presently. And this is not something that was conscious the first 6 months. The first 6 months was a giant sociological experiment.
Because you're just being you.
Correct. We're just
Yeah,
existing.
We're still just existing. But in the first 6 months, the way this whole thing started is crazy. So that first viral video, just to backtrack, right?
Yeah.
Like
We'll take you to the very first viral video, like that day, essentially.
that first viral video also happened after Alexis got hearing loss in one ear,
Sudden sensorineural hearing loss.
lost her key client, was the most depressed she's ever been in her
Basically
life.
lost something that was going to become like a full-fledged, full-time job opportunity in January, and it didn't.
It was really wild.
Yeah.
And the impetus to me really making that video was, I think you're so talented, babe, and I want you to get out of this depression, and I want people to see how talented you are, because I think you can get beauty product development clients if this goes
videos,
viral.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that was the impetus. And so I actually
didn't know this, by the way, because I would have never agreed.
I actually hashtag beauty product development in that first video as well. And I was also really pleased that it went viral, because then I remembered that in 2020, I was talking about beauty product development.
Yep.
I was like, yes, I have cracked it, you know?
This was her moment of validation.
So I start a new job too. So I went to work for a VR edtech startup.
This is just as virality hits.
Yep, right as we're going viral.
5 days of virality, she starts a new job.
Then,
Really
you know,
great timing.
yeah, and we're not really getting clients. We're just like going viral. I mean, some people were reaching out here and there.
Yeah, I
We
did
had
get
some
a couple clients.
consultations.
I got like what I call like resuscitation clients, in the sense of it could resuscitate me, like my self-esteem of
Right.
like, let's get back into this. And
Right.
we at the
Fall
time,
back in love with beauty.
right.
Right.
And maybe I don't leave the industry because I was ready to be out and be done
Yeah.
after
You were
the.
very discouraged. You didn't
Yeah.
see people like you on platform, I think,
No,
also,
I did
which
not.
was also very discouraging. Like seeing your role models, where are they? You know,
Yeah, no,
you
they
needed them
weren't
North
on
Star.
TikTok. That's for sure.
Right. So 2 months after we go viral, I get let go from my job. So now we're both unemployed.
Yeah.
We're making zero money.
And we live in Brooklyn, and we own a condo, and we have a mortgage to pay.
And, you know, I get such a small severance because I was only at the company for 2 months, right? Like, I really didn't want to go back to the public education system. I was like, I just want to
She
move
would have had to go
on.
back
I
to
had
the
my
classroom
doctorate.
too.
I was like,
How
oh,
old did you teach? What ages?
I was high school. It was high school English teaching. Yeah, and I wanted that behind me. Like, you know, like when you just graduate, you know, and it's like, you don't want to go backwards. So that's how it felt. And I was like, oh gosh, what do we do? So it was like, okay, we have a 6-month runway. Let's figure out what, you know, how far we can take this social media thing.
How long can we last on credit cards and a dream?
And
that
like,
and
worst case
with
scenario.
the rest of our savings to pay our mortgage. That was the question mark one day that we had, and we faced that.
And we said to
We
ourselves,
calculated the number, as good entrepreneurs would.
we said to ourselves that the worst case scenario was that we
June.
just
We
go
get new jobs.
get other jobs, and let's see how far we could take this in 6 months. And then at the 6-month mark, right in June, we signed management and we started monetizing, and now it's much better. Thank God.
Now we know how to pay our
You can work
bills.
full time and do social media content creation if you do it strategically and you do it
As
well.
a full-time creator, right?
Right,
Yeah.
as a full-time creator.
But we would not have been able to achieve that and what we
If we weren't
achieved
both
if we weren't both working full-time
no
on the
way.
content creation.
Because it really
It's
needed
exhausting.
a lot of time, a lot of attention, a lot of cutting, a lot of editing, because we posted 3 videos a day for basically a year and a half.
Yeah. We weren't allowed to miss a day. Christina's
No,
rules.
I was the Church of Gary Vaynerchuk.
That's insane.
It was wild.
But you
is
know,
what it was.
Alexis is so knowledgeable about the industry that it was documenting, not creating.
Yeah.
You know, like
Very
it's one thing to, you know, curate a whole thing. And look, sometimes we create it. Like we do these showdowns and we like dress foundations up and like we do Halloween costumes and stuff like that. It's fun. Like that's creating. But like we're going into Sephora and she's noticing that the Fenty Eavesdrop stick is dried out because it doesn't have a cap on, and people should know because if you're going into the store, that consistency is not going to be the same, and it goes viral. Like that's just top line knowledge that as a
That's
beauty
just
product
basic
developer,
knowledge. That's like
yeah,
I was walking through Sephora today and I'm just picking everything.
Yeah.
Just like that shouldn't be there. This needs to move here. Why hasn't this been done? What is this? And if it's what you do, you shop in a different way.
But like it's basic knowledge for the experts, but not for the masses. And now there's like this shift that I think that we've caused too in the industry, which is like this desire for these consumers, the beauty community, to know more. Like what is the manufacturing
appetite.
process? The appetite has been so open, and it's just really cool to see.
And I think in many ways, in your experiences, how many years have you been content creating? Right? In the
2000, I was on Twitter 2009.
right. And
then
what
the
have
2010, YouTube 2014, and then Insta whenever it started.
right.
Yeah.
And what has the appetite of the consumer from back then and to now? Like the shifts, right? The knowledge that
Yeah, I think it sounds like there's a sort of parallel in how you started and in how I started, because I was just educating.
right.
My blog, my skincare blog, had like by the time
And
we
you were an
archived it-
esthetician.
yeah,
which
by the
makes
time we archived it into the body of our brand, so it's still there. It was on 180 million page views, which for a blog
Wow.
was huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at your skin right now. I'm like, I want to know what she's using. You know, is this skincare?
Well,
Yeah,
we've got
yeah.
bags for you out there, don't worry. But the blog was all education. It was cheat sheets because that's
Yeah.
what we would use. When
That's
we were
brilliant.
training and
Absolutely.
educating. Cheat sheets. You know, it was all written. Cheat sheets. My first blog post was how to cleanse properly, how to massage, cleansing massage.
Which who teaches you this? Nobody. Where is it?
And that led to the book,
Right.
which, you know, Instagram got bigger.
One thing leads to
And then I
another.
would call things out that were wrong, and that put me up against the industry a lot, but I didn't care because I knew I was right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, when Gwyneth Paltrow said she only uses SPF where the sun hits and did this.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
But I didn't do it just like she's wrong. But I got every single derm I know to write a thesis on why it was wrong, and then I put that on the blog.
That's brilliant.
You don't have to believe me, read them.
Right.
Right.
You know, so I never sort of
Experts.
I never backed down from an argument. And now the difference is I never chased it, but I would always be like ready to respond. And now I'm just like, oh,
I can respect that. But
Now
now
I'm-
let someone else fight
now
that
I'm like,
battle.
you know what? If you want to put beef tallow on your face, instead of SPF, enjoy melanoma, my friend. Like, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
You know, but I am beauty, retail, and facials
Red.
through and through. If you cut
Yeah.
me in half like a stick of rock, like we would say in the UK, it would just be like beauty industry.
Wow.
So when I walk through, like we went into Sephora today, and it was an absolute shit show.
Yeah.
And it just pains me.
Yeah.
It pains me because I know that every single brand founder, if they walked in, they would be so sad to see their product showcased in that way.
Right.
Because if you don't, I don't know what's happened in Sephora recently,
Right.
but if you don't get there at opening time,
Yeah.
there's
It's
no stock and it's filthy.
right.
That's my experience. And I go into every single, I was here in April and we went into every single Sephora we walked past. And
Yeah.
the only one that was different was the Upper West Side at 11 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
Right. Because it was pristine or whatever the
And
situation
they had
is.
stock.
I think it's so deeply rooted also in the popularity of beauty. I think whoever masterminded the moment that we said, let's take the key away from a beauty advisor and let's stick a gondola and create open sale environments with testers, they never anticipated a group, an army of 10 or 15 or year olds or however, we're not even putting an age on this. They never anticipated a group of people going in and having the free reign to touch
playing.
and play
Playing.
to the extent and the volume that Sephora now drives.
Yeah.
And whether we attribute that to social or we attribute that to the department stores losing favor in the US. I know it's different in the UK, at least from what we understood in the very short stint we were there, and just from what we see in the comments. And we have to go back to the UK and we have to pay homage to the department store because those are my roots. I was born and bred on a sales floor
Same.
in a retail department store.
Floor.
And that will shape you and that will teach you respect.
Yep.
And this respect for me became cumulative once we started to launch our own brand. And this is why when we're walking in and we're swatching product wherever we are, whether it's Ulta or Sephora, we are having the lens of what it took to get that product there in our head, and what it took to sell that product when you were making $15 an hour on the sales floor, which is, what I was making back whenever. And that's the difference for me as a creator, whereas not every creator necessarily has, almost 2 decades behind them
Of course not.
of what it took
I
to
mean,
get
most
that
of the
there.
huge creators, present company, respectively included, most of the big creators weren't born when
Right,
I started in the industry.
right.
Yeah, it's
So-
wild.
And so when you get people, because I'm like a mother and a grandmother, I'll get people going, the diss is that I'm old. And I'm like, fuck, you know
Okay.
what? Okay, I might be old. Number one, I can still kick your ass. Number two, don't fuck with me. Fuck around and find out. Like, I've reached that menopause age where I'm like, I just don't care.
Right. You're over it.
But number three, in your head, you say, bitch, I've forgotten more than you've ever learned. You're just like, but ultimately, it comes from having such a massive love for the industry. And that's why I get disheartened.
Don't disrespect me and don't disrespect the industry I love
Don't
and
disrespect
what
my
I've built.
industry. Yeah. When I go into a Sephora, because it doesn't happen in department stores, they're
Right.
clean and tidy.
Right.
Because everyone looks after everyone's counter and there's that village.
There has
When
to be, though.
When I go into a Sephora and it's messy, it makes me depressed.
Yeah.
I'm just like, guys, you
Yeah.
are one of the flagships. In the US, you are the flagship.
Right.
I'm sorry, but work harder.
Yeah.
You got to make it
Or
look
staff
better.
differently
If you're
or
getting
get
more
creative,
people,
right?
Get more people. They're all standing around trying to sell to you, but there's dirty tissue on the floor. And it's, anyway,
Yeah. I hear you. I understand.
it
Look,
really winds me up,
we
as you can tell.
we always go in and I'll take an alcohol spray bottle, I take wet ones.
But why would you have to do that?
Right.
Yeah.
Why do you have to
I mean,
do
also
that?
we're a unique circumstance because we're in there swatching and we're trying to be really
We
respectful.
probably mentioned Sephora more than any other.
because we have access to more of them. There's only 2 Ultas in Manhattan.
Yeah.
That's true.
We
So
went
for
into
us,
it was
it's
clean. It just was uninspiring.
right.
Yeah.
It just
Well, the 86th Street location is different.
yeah.
In case you're looking to go
I did that
uptown.
one in April.
Okay, good.
And
It
I
has
love
it's
it.
bigger.
Don't get me wrong, I love all of them, and
Yeah.
every time I shop in a Sephora, if I'm here 2-3 times a year, with every sale, I'm a VIB
Yeah.
because I'm like chung chung
Boom,
chung chung.
boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a consumer.
Right.
So
And
is
I
the
But you
just
have a
want you to
level
raise
of
the bar.
right.
Raise the bar.
And maybe this is a calling to the new era of department stores in the US anyway. This is a calling to reinvent open sale for the new market that's
Yeah.
been totally really ultimately saturated thanks to social. But
That's a great point.
and like here's the calling for whoever wants to listen to it and like what are the things that people will value? Their experience.
Yep.
But also how are we training this staff to go back to what we spoke about earlier? Because when we walk into Sephora's and Ulta's, we are received by this staff like we are the gods and goddesses of the
They're
industry.
some of the biggest fans. It's really sweet, right?
because
And-
we're helping
Who
them.
you are.
right.
We're
And
helping
When
them.
they
you're
learn.
not, it's a very different experience.
Right.
Yeah.
That's because and it's the same with me in the UK. It's flipped.
Yeah.
When I go into a beauty department or a Space NK in the UK, everyone knows who I am.
But I'd imagine you've also helped them learn
Yes.
to help
Yes.
them be
Yes.
better
I
at
used to
their
be a trainer in
jobs.
Space NK.
Exactly.
Right,
And I get DMs from people every day saying, "Hi, Caroline. It's great to see you doing so well. You trained me 15 years ago
Yeah.
in
That's
Anthony for
wild.
Men," and I'm like,
That's love
"Christ, that
that.
was a long time ago."
Yeah.
But this is the gift that
When
you've
you
given
give
to
them
the
value.
industry.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's you didn't take your knowledge and stick it in a silo and open a boutique spa and do facials for 2 decades. You entered the blog sphere, you proliferated that information out, and you leveled the consumer up.
Yeah.
It's like you were part of the early stage, phase 1 of the transformation of what we see today.
For sure.
And that's beautiful. And
Yeah.
it's like that deserves its own little celebration. And it's
Ladies.
and in doing so, where are we today and where is the
I am
expectation?
happily passing the baton.
Exactly.
You
And
take
this
that
is
baton, girls, and you run with it, girls. I'll be behind you going, you go get them. I'm just going to have a cup of tea.
yeah. No,
I'm
right.
tired.
And
I'd like
we're
to hang
and
out with the
we're
grandkids.
here now and we've been sprinting for almost
have.
2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's time to pace ourselves.
And how
because-
do you do that? What are you going to do? Because I had a whole list of questions, but fuck it, we'll get it.
Yeah.
How do you, what's next? What are you going to, because you're only just getting started really. Because
For
I know
real,
when
yeah.
you're
That's
2
true.
years in and you're getting all the attention is when you're like, oh, I could go this path,
Right.
I could do this, I could
Yeah.
do this.
It's
But
a
because you're older,
Correct.
fiercely intelligent, I know
Thank
you're
you,
not going to go
that's
out there
really
and just
sweet.
do any paid job you can get.
Right.
That's what I didn't do, and I think that's why my credibility stayed. I never lost credibility. I
Yeah.
never did an ad that I wouldn't back. I said no to so much money.
Yep.
I said no to licensing deals. I said no to doing collabs with everything. The first collab I did was with Pixie, and that's because we had an affinity, because I had made Glow Tonic and the whole
Oh,
scene
yeah.
blow up. And they openly said, that was all one post I did on the blog, which was, this is a dupe for P50.
Yeah.
Back in the days when you would say that, I was very clear that it wasn't an actual dupe.
Right. It's the closest you're going to get at that price point.
£16 on an acid, do this one.
Yeah.
Rather than $95, you know. And so I held off so that when I did launch my own brand, people knew they could trust it. I wasn't going to really release bullshit. I've never done the bullshit. And I know that you two aren't going to do any of that. But are you going to, like, we're getting lipsticks? What are we getting?
Well, I just want to validate that we too say no to a lot of offers that we get.
I know, I can tell, I'm sure.
Sometimes,
I can only imagine what must be coming your way.
And you could imagine sometimes when there's like a brand disaster, sometimes they'll reach out and offer money to like say something to clean it up. And it's just like, no. And we'll make an organic video about why that product is failing instead.
I did a video once on YouTube that was one of the sort of favorites at the time, which was nice juice, shame about the packaging. And no one had ever critiqued in that way before.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, you can probably Google when it was, Liv. It was like 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. And it was, I love the juice, the formula's great, but who the fuck invented this packaging?
Right.
Yeah.
And one of them was Estee Lauder's Advanced Night Repair Eye, the one with used to have a stick. So I opened it and I went, I've got to tell you, when I got this, I thought two things. One, it's broken because there's no soft ending. You want me to poke a plastic stick
Which
around my eye.
hurts. And that's the most sensitive area of your skin.
And two, it was made by a man.
Yeah. Well, there's
That's a problem in many industries. That's
Especially
big with
in
technology
packaging.
as well.
They didn't respond.
Yeah.
But they changed the packaging.
Right.
2017. They didn't respond, but they changed the packaging.
Listen, it's, and don't think for 1 second that we're not the front lines in many instances. And I think for us, what year one taught us was the opportunities to, as you said, you've passed the baton metaphorically, right? And the baton has been passed, I think, by many in a sense, whereas we're a new era of influencer breed where we have expertise to go in and consult with brands, which is what we're doing more so presently.
You know, brands also don't know what to do with us because it's like, and we need to be careful as well because it's very easy to be taken advantage of.
Very
You have this
easy.
amazing beauty product development expertise, but they may want to pay you for a video, but they're just like,
But
but give me all of this free consulting.
Yeah.
Right.
It's very dangerous.
That's why I stopped consulting and did my own brand.
Right.
That's why I went full blog and stopped consulting, because I consulted from like 2008. I started consulting in the UK when the crash hit here, the hit market hit, 2008, 2009. And it just happened to be perfect timing because all the American brands, they couldn't afford to send anyone to the UK. So I got a few of them on retainer and I was flying.
Right.
Yeah.
I would go around the UK training all the Space NK doors, all the sort of
Brilliant.
smaller brands that couldn't afford.
Yeah.
I'd do all the trainings, I'd look after them, I'd make sure they got stock and testers, and I just did that for a few years. And then I started the blog in 2010, and then the shift happened where if I was consulting for brands, I'll tell you afterwards who, they would expect to be on the blog for free.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
because I started monetizing the blog, there came a point where I went, right, well, this has to go away because I can't be stifled.
Yeah.
I can't say, this is shit.
Right.
If you're paying me, and you don't listen to me, I'm still going to want to give you my opinion, so this had to go away.
Right.
Then the
It's
blog,
a delicate dance.
then the blog came, and I thought, well, now I have to go all in and do the monetization, but I still have to feed the kids.
Right.
Yeah.
So I need to make the
Feed
right
the babies.
The
decisions.
babies. We talk about
We talk about that all
and
the
you know
time.
that is on the roadmap, right?
Yeah.
Like talk about being older, and
We talk about feeding our babies, not
We- you
not
know,
metaphorical ones, literal
the
baby humans we
biological
wanna make.
clock is real. We need to think about that.
So
So we're hoping.
I'm
in
not
like a
saying
2-year
we're
timeframe.
sprinting to a finish line of a brand. That's not happening. But we have the one really big project that we've been working on for over a year has been this course.
Yes.
It's a culmination of, it's like the gift that Christina and my brain, and then we also brought in a chemist. It's
Cosmetic
Mr.
chemist.
Cosmetic Chemist. His name is Julio Pina, Mr. Pineapple. He's our chemist bestie. We call him our honorary husband. He's all the things.
He's
Everyone needs an honorary husband.
Yeah.
I have quite a few.
So we brought him in, and when you take our cumulative experience, it's basically almost 60 years of knowledge, 40 from beauty, 20 from education. You mash it up. It's our gift to the world of beauty, because if we elevate every single beauty executive or aspiring beauty executive with knowledge that never existed before, you give them a jump start. We're putting activator on an industry that has an education problem.
Yeah.
Not
It
just
really does.
I mean, you look at some of these influencers as well, and
Yeah.
what I think has been really interesting is that now content creators, whether they say it or not,
Oh, yeah.
are
talking
watching
about
our content.
wipers, and they're
They're
talking
learning.
about
And
dope,
they're
yeah.
learning and they're using the same terminology, and we're not always getting credit, and that's okay. But I know we're
Get
elevating.
used to that.
Yes.
Someone who's far down
Thank
the
you.
road.
Which
Get
is
used
you
to
know,
that.
it happens,
You have to
right?
take
Like
it as a compliment.
it is a
unless they actually
compliment.
rip you off, in which case call me. I've also been there. I've also been there.
But it's great to see that the whole beauty community wants this knowledge,
do.
right? And is thirsty for this knowledge, and the
That's what I
gates have
think
been
is great
opened.
about the industry. The two things that Brandon did from Deciem was he stirred up the interest. He also confused a lot of people and used it to make a great deal amount of money with The Ordinary. Fair play.
Yeah.
And he told me that's exactly what he was doing. He said, I'm going to disrupt. I'm going to cause confusion. People will buy more product.
Yep.
It'll be cheaper. And that was his actual
God, I
game
remember
plan.
buying the original hairline
Yeah.
in Canada
Yeah.
when it had launched in the coolest boutique,
Yeah.
bringing it home to you, telling you all about it. He's launching 10 brands at once. His offices are, I mean, I must have applied for like 10 of those different jobs in like his office in Hoboken back then. But I remember that moment. And
he
I've watched
wanted
all
to
of
be
this.
disruptive. He told me all
He
about his
was.
negotiations with Sephora.
Right.
Because he loved to talk.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, he would talk me through his product and go, this is the exact same product as this.
Yeah.
Mine's not going to go off, theirs is. And I was just like, this man's a genius.
Yeah.
And then, but what he did, which was the negative, is make everyone think they're a fucking chemist.
Right.
Like, people
Right.
will argue with me about product, and I'm like, oh.
Right. Because
Go
you're
with-
teaching them about
go with
acids
God.
now, because you're teaching
with
them
God.
about, right.
You know, when the TikTok trend happened of the glycolic 7%,
Right, under-
the roll
yeah,
up,
yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, if you're going to do that, your face is going to fall off. Peace be with you, my friend. And then the
Well,
next
that's
video was
the-
his face screaming and crying, and I'm like, if only someone had told you.
Well, that's the downside of the, when we say like it's a viral storm or it's a viral tsunami, it's like in the negative connotation.
Yeah.
There's happy virality and there's positive virality, and then there's when the product goes to market and it just spirals, and it spirals and it takes 18 different turns it was never supposed to take.
No.
And it goes back to we always ask why. Why would a product do that? Well, because creators don't have education to share. So they have no choice sometimes but to do the viral salacious thing. And then the consumer on the end is getting conditioned to love drama,
Yeah.
to be addicted to it. Clickbait, exactly. And it kills the art of creating for education.
For education
And-
purposes.
And to go back to just like ultimately like the goal here and like why when we started it was pure education, it was documenting, and it caught like wildfire. So we didn't have to make adjustments, but we certainly had to make it fun.
Oh yeah.
And it still has to be made fun, and that's the art.
Yeah.
And for us, the way I describe our journey and the way that we talk about it, and it's kind of funny. It's very much like cuisine, traveling the world and tasting global cuisine. Year 2 of this is which cuisine tastes the best and what do I want to eat most frequently.
And what do you want to eat most frequently? What
Education.
skincare
Yeah.
are we looking at? I'm doing skincare. What do you like at the moment? Where are we at?
Okay. I'm like, what's on? I also form really deep connections with brands that have founders that I meet and I can bond with. So I've been a huge fan of Beekman 1802's brand. Their Milk RX. They have exosome technology. It's a sensorial texture. It's beautiful absorption. It leaves my skin feeling super smooth. I've played around with U Beauty. I like the sequencing and the simplicity of the resurfacing compound and layering, the moisturizer on top. I like the radiance it gives me naturally. I'll play with K Beauty, but am I a lover of
Can we discuss? Because I get so
it's a lot.
I
but
get so
I
many
yeah.
requests, and particularly because of where we live. I mean, I'm in the UK,
Yeah.
and people are going like, "We don't really talk about K beauty." I'm like, I don't live in Korea.
Right.
I don't know what to tell
Yeah.
you. They have humidity. They
Yeah.
have a very different.
such a different
atmosphere.
need.
So yes, a lot of the stuff they do that's hydrating and light and layering is
Gel
because
creams.
that's what you need.
Yes.
If I use that, my face would fall off.
Right.
I need richer creams. I need emollients. I need it to be.
Yeah.
I can't do light and feathery.
Yeah, no, of course. We have a lazy Susan. Christina by default like yells at me because I switch things up, but like
I know. I never find anything. I was like, I'm a loyalist. They'll sell me one product. I'll
Yeah.
use it for like years. But like Alexis is rotating.
you have to rotate and you have to explore. So I do have a bit of Shani Darden on the lazy Susan. Again, U Beauty. I have Beekman. These are things that are on like systemic rotation where I'll use them. I'm reaching for them often.
Tatcha.
Tatcha is something that has like there's a new line that's coming that I'm trying. I'm exploring. There's some new ingredient stories. So let's see what the deal is. But I'm a longevity, regenerative guru, wellness girly, so to speak. So like I'm trying an NAD cream that I got from my doctor. I have psoriasis on my chest of all
A
places.
recent development.
Yeah, and I'm playing with NAD, and I'll play with different styles of creams, and I also have my wizard chemist friend who will mix concoctions up for me. And that's something that's newer. It's a perk, but it's in the spirit of, is my soul in skincare? I know I need it for my makeup to look good, But at my core, I'm making you a foundation, a concealer, a powder. I'm making
Let's
you
go there.
right, like, and that's like where I'll have five skin complexion products on rotation seasonally.
And what's number one first in your head? Go.
Right thing right now, I've been using Polite Society because it's like a gel base.
Yes, I know this.
This
Where is
foundation.
this from?
Can we buy it in store?
Yeah,
think
Ulta,
at Ulta,
86th
yeah.
Street. Yeah. So
That's why we didn't see it.
second,
Write it down, Liz.
second to Polite Society's gel cream, you can shear her out. It's more gelatin. It's not truly a gel cream, but it operates like a gel would. If I'm wanting like silicone and I want to be dressed up, evening sexy, I'm gonna reach for House Labs.
Okay.
I won't
Interesting.
pick
Foundation.
foundation. Her House Labs Triclone concealer, there's nothing on the market that will last quite as long as that.
This is key. So, do you know Kevin James Bennett?
Yes.
He's one of my good friends.
Okay.
We're seeing him for dinner tonight.
Cool.
And last time I saw him in April, I said, okay, I'm in Sephora. What's the one thing I'm buying? And you know what he's like? He's very black
Yes.
and white. He went, and I quote, the only fucking thing worth your money in there is House Labs Foundation and concealer. And I was like,
Because it's it's
Okay.
Korean technology, but it's the best contract manufacturer like in Korea that's doing. Of course, there's some biotech infused, but there's the balancing of the materials to yield the result. Now, if you have really oily skin, you're gonna need some type of a blurring primer like Laura Mercier's to neutralize and soak up some of that oil. So can I wear House Labs in August in Greece?
no.
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 Can I wear it in January?
Did you wear anything in Greece?
No.
No.
I'd wear my Chanel water tint.
Oh, the dream. Just the minute that smell, because I like the beige.
Yeah, Le Beige. I love Le Beige.
I'm older. I like the beige.
I love
Give me-
Le Beige
give
too.
Me anything that makes me look like I haven't just been dug up.
Yeah.
Because in the morning I look this color.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm, so, you know, when you get over a certain age, when you won't know, but when you are postmenopausal, I'm 55. The shop is closed. Okay? Trade only. The shop is closed. Like we're done.
I don't know. I'm at a lot of biohacking secrets.
That would be a miracle. I went for a intrauterine scan. He's like, Justin's like, Jesus Christ. Like a year or so ago, and they said, oh, yeah, do you remember? She said, oh, you've
Like
still got
vaginal rejuvenation?
No, like a checkup.
Okay.
Annual one. And she said, oh, I can see a follicle. I went, I beg your fucking pardon, what? What do you mean I've got a follicle? And my husband was like, so dude, like, heads up, we could have, like, and he's just
Oh,
like,
no.
don't be ridiculous. I'm like, I have one follicle.
Wow.
And you know what we're like. Unbelievable.
That's good news.
Well, but I was ready for the
The
shop to
fountain
close.
of youth.
But you get to a certain age and you wake up and you're yellow.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you're a Caucasian
Color,
woman,
right?
the
It's
pink
yeah.
goes from your cheek, which is why you get to my age, and all the women at my age,
Blush.
especially in the north, it's just blusher.
Blush, blush, baby, blush.
Like people are like, what's your desert? I'm like, blusher,
Yeah.
mascara.
Yeah.
I can do anything with them. They're like, blush. I'm like, if you want to give me a cream blush, I'll do eyes and lip too, but I have to have colour in my cheeks or I look dead.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Like,
And
deceased, done, coffin, done.
I think what we're seeing now, and I talk about this, like we've spoken about this a lot, and it's funny to watch Christina's reactions, and even she's realizing and recognizing things industry wide.
For sure.
But we're seeing cycles, right? We just saw like an insane volume of blush hit the market. We're seeing the cycle of sameness. We're seeing retailers. We had lip oil, we had lip balm. Then now we're gonna have the lip hybrids are gonna enter the chat. You're gonna see 85 million lip serums that plump and do this and moisture, la 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 la. But like it's gonna be the next generation of lip. Maybe we'll see higher opacities in these, meaning higher color, pigment loads. Of course, we're gonna see evolutions. But at the core, right, people are also forgetting that we're layering all these products on top of each other, and people are not thinking about necessarily how they're going to sit one on top of the other. And it's like we have this giant market of confused consumers with more product formats and more product categories than they ever needed, and less understanding on how to use them than ever before. Because
Hence your success.
right, and that's where we're at, and this is part of.
It's like Alexis is a tour guide taking you through all of these beauty formats and like really
Yeah.
breaking it down to the most basic, well, in an attempt in the most
Right.
basic way, making something super complex actually very accessible, which is
But
very
it's
challenging.
really, really, really like hard to do. And it goes back to the beginnings of like at the end of the day, like it doesn't matter what foundation you make and what you put in it. If you don't have the right skincare and you have dead skin sitting on the surface of your face, it's gonna look like shit.
Yeah.
And like people don't understand this point still. Like, and we'll get messages, and these are the same messages that I would get in 2006 at the makeup counter. Why is my nose getting patchy? Why is my under eye creasing? Because there's no creaseless concealer in the world, right?
I don't get it. I'm
Period.
like, you're going to have to do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
it.
Going
Yeah.
to
Just
have to
commit.
do it.
Creases
Commit
is a
to it.
lie.
If you're in doubt, just do this.
Yeah, and just commit to that, and it's okay. And there's what's exciting too is we're seeing brands like Sarah Creel launch and hit the market, who's naming the fact that she's a product developer. That's
Huge.
the really big moment for that word to be on a gondola at
Which
Sephora.
I remember, we were calling, Alexis is obviously a beauty product developer, but all people knew on TikTok were cosmetic chemists.
They
so
all
they
thought I was a
automatically
chemist,
thought
which I'm
that
not.
Alexis was a chemist. When we repeated it often, like all the time, and still, even to this day, you're like, oh, you're a cosmetic chemist? Like, no.
nope.
No.
So like the idea of product development, like people thought that was a term we made up, like the Lipstick Lesbians.
I mean,
Liz
we
walking
did have a
around.
chat before. We did have a chat
Yeah.
before, and I was like, has anyone ever said to you, oh, where did you get the name?
Yeah.
Not knowing. And just like, even now, if I see the old comment, I think, oh, bless.
I know. Well, that's what we think about beauty product development too. We did
Yeah.
not come up with the name beauty product development.
No.
It is a
It is
thing.
quite shocking.
It is. It is. But it's again.
it's a new group. I think you're spearheading a new group because
The
there was, in the early days, it was
estheticians.
makeup artists, estheticians.
Estheticians with an E,
Yeah.
not with an A. Also a distinction I want to make because people don't know the difference. And I say that in a loving way,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
So it was both of our, I would say us, makeup artists, because I came up with like the Pixie Woo girls, Sam and Nick
Yeah.
Chapman and that. So there was makeup, there was skin, and then slowly it was cosmetic chemists first. And then the derms.
Yeah,
went,
the derms
The
woke
derms,
up.
the
yeah.
derms went,
We're
"Holy
leaving money
shit,
on
we
the
can make
table."
money.
Like that's
Yeah.
good.
And
Oh,
they
is that the
literally
timeline?
came
It was
in-
cosmetic chemists and
Yeah.
then derm?
Oh yeah,
That's
cosmetic
interesting.
chemists like Michelle Wong, she was there early.
Yeah.
They were all there early, and the Eco Well Gen, they were all there early, and we would all share information, and they never spoke down to estheticians. They would say, well, we don't know how it's going to work on the skin.
I was
We can
just
tell you
gonna
what it should
say,
do.
how could they? They've
Yeah.
probably
We can
never
tell you what it
touched
should do.
clients.
And I would say, well, you say that's going to do that. I'm telling you from hands-on experience, this is how it reacts on
Right.
the skin.
Exactly.
But then the
And every
derms
skin
come
type
in.
is different.
Every skin is different. It's like
Right.
a fingerprint.
Yeah.
Every skin is different. The derms come in, and we do joke about it in the UK.
Right.
Because the American derms are the worst for it.
Oh.
Because they'll say, because in the UK, the term dermatologist is a protected name.
Okay.
You can't use dermatologist, gynecologist, unless you are one.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's the board certified thing. It's when they're like, I'm
Oh,
a board
right,
certified
yeah,
dermatologist.
yeah.
And we all go, oh, really? You never fucking mention it. Literally. And I even said it to Shireen Idris. I was like, oh, are you? That's shocking to me. I didn't know. Because it's teasing. It's very UK-led banter, you know?
Yeah.
But the derms came in afterwards. And then what was interesting was you're fine because you are very unique. But the derms and the cosmetic scientists are now kicking off.
Oh well, yeah. Don't think the chemist didn't come for us though.
Well, interesting because the people who got left behind was my group. Because everyone assumes derms know more than
Estheticians,
estheticians.
yeah.
They do not.
Which is because they don't
That's so
interact with the
interesting.
client the way you do. They're writing prescriptions for
they know
Retinol.
3,000 skin diseases.
Right.
I don't need to know that.
No.
So I've always said when people say, well, because America is very big on you go to your derm. That
Yes.
doesn't happen in the UK.
where they're going to your
There's a
esthetician.
3-4 year waiting list to see a dermatologist on the NHS.
And that's if you have a problem
And
with,
that's
with
if you
your
have a
skin.
problem.
Not
if you
a
want to go
skin-
and see one, you have to pay.
Right.
So we always sort of translated it as a facialist, as we would say in the UK,
Right.
is there to aid your skin health.
Right.
If you have something that we know we can't help you with, we
You'll
will
send you to the
a
derm.
derm.
Like a
Right.
disease or
Yeah,
an
disease,
actual.
something that if you need Roaccutane, like
Right.
if we go, we can't fix this with laser or microneedling or high frequency or anything like that. You need something much more invasive.
And where do the injectors fall? The Botox or
Well, it's
the
all
filler?
about to
Are
be
th-
changed by the government.
Got
so
it.
like you've had it in New York where the doctors have taken everything and left your estheticians with nothing.
Yeah.
Literally, you can't even do radio frequency, which is insane. I've been doing that for just years.
That's crazy.
And so they're trying to do it in the UK, but I'm the ambassador for the aesthetic side of the British Beauty Council, but we mean aesthetics, facials and treatments. So I'm there to speak for my people
Good.
because you are not going to come in and do this and try and just get your hand into
All
every
that pot of money.
just because the doctors see pound signs.
Right.
And it's not every doctor, but those doctors don't go away and do aesthetic training.
No.
They don't go away and do
Which
aesthetic
is an
training.
art in
Of
itself.
course it is. So there's this whole thing that's going on in the UK, but we've kind of been left behind. So we're just kind of sitting like, you guys argue it out amongst
Which is
yourselves.
really ironic because you understand the intimacy of the interaction of product and skin better.
Exactly.
Just like a makeup artist. You're the makeup artist of skincare.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Literally. So the chemists will openly say, we don't touch faces.
Right.
The derms try, well, some derms, not all. Some derms will try and make out that all they do is touch faces all day. No, they don't. You see, you look, you write a prescription, they're done.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're in there for 17 seconds.
Yeah.
I counted once how long I had a cyst on my arm.
Yeah.
I was like, this is going to cost me a $50 copay, but also how long is he going to look at? Yep, okay, boom.
Yeah, boom, done. And so,
And no
there's
solution.
disrespect,
No, of course not.
but show us the same respect. My basic training was 300 hours.
Yeah.
My basic.
And then
training.
how many years?
20.
Yeah.
Let's multiply what?
That's the
It's
thing.
2 kids and 2 grandkids.
Yeah.
I had
think,
2
you know,
kids when I did my training.
the experts that are on platform, like you're an expert in your arena of what you do. There's no need to like
So
go
why
after
did
each other.
cosmetic chemists come for you?
Well, this is the situation. It's they, in a sense, felt, I believe, there was a bit of a threat to them.
Well,
However,
when we first exploded, I
Yes.
think there was just some different
Jealousy.
perspectives of
Definitely
things.
different
That's all. It was just different
also
perspectives.
chemists
And I-
don't evaluate product the way product
But
developers
also,
do with an artistic lens.
It's kind of like text messages where sometimes like a text message is read, but you can be misinterpreted, right? And it's just like, and it's in the
I
comment
wasn't
section, and it's just
going
like,
for
no,
anyone's market.
that's not what we meant.
That
But
never
I think,
comes across that you're going for anyone.
no, you know, and
So
I
if someone
think,
takes it that way, I see it as they're threatened.
This is about love and respect to the person that's on the other end who's
But
standing in front of a wall in a store and doesn't know
anyway,
what to do.
Long story short, we
Yeah.
met up with some cosmetic chemists that are on platform. I think we've met like
A
some
lot of them,
and we
yeah,
want to meet Michelle Wong in Australia because she's in Australia, right? And we even messaged her. Yeah, and she's just like, yeah, I'd love to meet you. So we're friends with them now.
Yes.
But in the beginning, it was a little weird, you know.
There was a learning curve of
But
acceptance.
also, like,
and
this was during that 6-month timeline where we were just posting and we were unemployed and we didn't know what was going to happen.
We
and
also
we were
didn't
just
know the
churning
rules
out
of the
content.
jungle.
Yeah, no, and we were just fresh,
It's the
bushy-eyed, like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Like, we're none of this context. Like, why are they angry?
why are people
like,
like aggressive when if we're sharing information? And even like, and this goes for consumers too, who essentially want to challenge our even existence. Like, well, in the beginning, well, what do you know? Your makeup looks like shit, and it's like, because I'm not using a filter, darling.
right, and I'm evaluating product and I'm putting color
And I'm
on
trying
my
a new
face.
eyeliner on today that's supposed to be transfer proof, but guess what? It's not.
Right.
And it's hilarious to me because as a product developer, you would walk around your office with 7 different products on and a badge of honor
Constantly.
if you looked crazy because it meant you were doing your job and you were doing it to make a better product. And that's what nobody
The
understood.
things that people will say to you on social media never fails to blow my mind.
Yeah.
It is. It's interesting.
But I mean, look, again, we're never going after anyone. We always think
It's
about
a-
the people in the beauty industry.
I don't think
and-
it ever comes across that you are going out,
No.
going after people. I don't think that's how it comes across
Yeah.
at all. I
Yeah.
don't think you have anything to
Right.
worry
And
about.
I think, for us, it's like we love the cosmetic chemist on platform. We've been working with a cosmetic chemist that has been in the industry for 17 years personally.
Formulating
and we love
on the
them.
bench, leading innovation teams. Like he's exactly at the level that I am because we're similar in age and experience. And it's also with that lens that it's important that we share information.
Right. Yeah.
That we educate together, including like the derms should have never shunned the estheticians. They should have hugged them and
The
said,
politics.
"Let's hold let's hold hands and attack this beast together because it
Yeah.
needs."
It's when you're chasing the money, you make mistakes.
Yeah, and that's okay.
facing the money,
It happens, and we understand that too. And I think respectively, in terms of just perception and money, and it's easy to be tempted, obviously. And I think there's a culture of influencer too, where there's this expectation of, okay, so you need to be showing us all these lavish things because it's part of content, right? Like, and it's as if influencers have been conditioned to need nice things to show them off.
Right.
Because it's their job. It's sociologically.
To us, we consider ourselves educators first,
Right.
and then
Thank you.
influencers second,
Thank you.
right? But
And if
I think,
In my field who
Right.
happens to have influence.
Right,
and
right.
maybe
That difference.
I think I see some of these experts that are out there, not anyone in particular I'm shouting out, just like I see the opposite.
they're trying to be influencers.
Influencers first and then they're experts.
And it's
second.
interesting to
So-
watch them struggle. It's almost like I would love to one day just like
It's not authentic.
right. I would love to do like an expose on the psychology of like the trauma of create, like what a creator has to go through in terms of being in your early 20s and getting exposed to this. Like I'm
crazy.
well in my 30s, so I'm processing, I'm in therapy, but I'm processing with a very different processor than a 20-year-old.
I mean,
I've been through some stuff.
If I had reached the success level I reached when I was sort of the pinnacle, like when my book, my book is the best-selling British beauty book of all time, and
I'd love to see this. I didn't see the book
there's
in
all
the.
these kind of things. If they had happened when I was in my 20s, well, it wouldn't have happened in my 20s because I wouldn't be considered an expert.
Well, that's the
Right,
thing
that's
too,
the thing
right?
too.
Like,
And now I have the 55-year-old brain of who cares?
Right.
Going you're arguing into the air. It's like shouting down a tunnel.
Right.
You know,
And maybe you'll catch a few dollars or pounds on the way down.
good luck. There's your longevity. If all
Right.
you're doing is clickbait or you're selling your soul to the devil, because when you see the sort of influencer-led marketing, which is this week they love La Mer,
Right.
last week it was Shiseido.
Right.
Like, do they not see how that looks?
Yeah. And you can love La Mer and Shiseido for different reasons.
Sure,
but maybe you should
put
give
a
it
bit of space.
Yeah, I
in
was gonna say
between.
maybe put like 3 months in between. But
Let's
6.
do some Q&A quickfire.
Yeah.
This is both of you. You don't get to hide behind the camera, miss. Okay, first skincare or beauty product you remember buying. This is the shit they want to hear.
Yeah.
chapstick.
Chapstick. Don't even.
We are not the chapstick lesbians.
We've had this whole conversation.
I'm glad. I actually wanted to make a piece of content about this, and she's like, "You can't talk about that like that." I'm like, "Okay."
I was like,
You can.
no, it was about
was
the
a-
lipstick lesbians, the chapstick lesbian. Chapstick lesbians
How do
is
you
also another
explain-
term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it was I went to Clinique. Clinique broke me out, so then I went right to Lancome, and I did it all. I mean, like Eau de Bien Femme, like old school gel cleanser, their tinted moisturizer, which I can't remember, but it had the gray twist cap and the white bottle. I was a Lancome and Definicils, like that was my
Definicils, what a...
Definicils,
Oh my
and like
God.
MAC, like Nico and Oh Baby lip glass from MAC, which was a plum and a like a brownish golden shimmered speckle. And then I was like addicted to eyeshadow after these were my staples, like those lips and the Definicils and the Lancome, but it was Lancome, MAC, and just a deep obsession.
How old are you at this point?
14, maybe 15.
I think if you're getting young, it's like when people pick up a guitar.
Yeah.
They're like, I've been playing guitar since I was 10. I was
Yeah.
like, same, but skin and face.
Yeah.
Like, anything to
I
do.
mean, I worked at my dad's bagel store every Saturday and Sunday from when I was about 13.
Get your money.
Bingo bango. I'd make $40 on a Sunday, take it right to the MAC counter on the next Friday. And that was the game. How many eyeshadows did I have when
Oh
I
my
met?
God, like over 100. It's insane. I was like,
Yeah,
how
they
does
were
someone own so much
color-coded.
makeup?
She
Color-coded.
when we first met, Christina raided my room and opened all my drawers. And I don't know what you were looking for, but you found something
you know what
entirely different.
happened? It was because everything was so organized. I was like, there has to be a flaw.
So you needed to find Monica's cupboard from Friends. You were looking for the cupboard where actually you open it and everything falls out.
I was like, how come like these socks are in these beautiful container store bins? And
I had,
there's,
like, the diamonds
white
where you
socks
put the
here
socks
and
and
the
the-
white and the black socks here and the gray.
I don't
socks
have
there,
that
and it was
anymore because
like,
she wouldn't be able to
what?
maintain it. So we've evolved. However,
You've let your standards drop.
I've let my
So that
standards drop.
She needs to like become a little bit more loose.
I can see that. If your bathroom is on fire,
Yeah.
what are you saving?
Oh my God! Right now,
We don't need all the soft bullshit.
Yeah.
Each other. And I
No.
want to know product. What do
I
you like?
would-
Shit.
What's
I cannot
that
be without
orange?
this.
What's that
I was
orange
gonna say the
body wash?
Ciclar body wash. Both of us.
Oh, so good.
This base is fascinating.
Where from?
I just know it as
It's
the orange
it's
body
like
wash.
a newer. It is an influencer style
Where are we
brand.
buying?
Online, Cyklar. Ciclar. Really interesting base. Soft Services body lotion and my
Were you able
flamingo.
to suss out who made it?
The Soft Services.
I can't wait till you try my product after this to see if you can guess
Okay.
it. It's not Intercost. I'm just going to tell you that.
Okay.
She actually, never guesses
Yeah.
Intercost. She's always thinking about somebody.
Yeah, but the Soft Services body lotion and like Flamingo. I love I love the Flamingo shave products. There's actually like a bunch of new stuff that hasn't launched yet that's in my shower. It has elevated my shaving experience
I love that.
in a way that I didn't know.
Shave. I don't have time
Such
to
a
go
ritual.
to get a wax and
Yeah, no.
shave. Shut down.
Yeah, exactly. And like they've really improved I learned this through Flamingo and like using the products, but apparently flamingos spend 90% of their time pruning themselves and like, which it speaks to me on a soul level.
Another brand name.
I mean,
A
come
good
on.
brand name to me
Yeah.
is just like it's like
Yeah.
mantle. I interviewed Casey Jane Hughes earlier, and
Yeah.
she said that she likes the brand mantle. I'm like, God, if you know skin, that's such a good fucking name for a brand.
Yeah.
You know, might need more explaining, but if you know it, you're like, oh, get it, nice work, see what you did there.
Yeah.
I always love
You have a moment like that where it clicks.
love it.
And that was so like again, like those are the things that are like body. I'm like, those are body care, but like I'm grabbing my Beekman Milk RX and I'm
You're grabbing what?
the Beekman Milk RX,
Oh,
the
where are we
exosome
buying
cream.
Beekman?
Ulta, but also QVC.
Ah, that's why. Okay.
You'll enjoy the
In
scent.
the UK.
I have no idea.
They must be.
Global, no?
I would, if it's
Yeah.
skin, I would know it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beekman
double-
1802. The Milk RX.
So because we're going to see
It's really-
Dennis Gross on
Okay.
Thursday, so we're going
Beautiful.
to add that in Liv. We're going to go and hit Ulta.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that.
God.
Those are things that like right now are definitely.
So in that
speaking to
same
me.
vein, when you came to the UK, you were very excited in Boots.
Yeah.
I want to know why.
I
said it was
liked. I
sexy.
said the store had sex appeal because for me the
You
way
were in a new store then.
exactly.
Okay, great.
I was in the Covent Garden store. I
Oh, that's the
love.
flagship. Okay,
I
fine.
Oh,
love
is it?
how large
Didn't
the
know.
gondolas were.
That's the flagship.
I
They are
love
not
that they had
all
skin
like that.
merchandise. They had skin merchandise with color, which for me was really satisfying. And they had front and back. They did not have single, which
Well, the
to
big
me,
brands do.
right, which
Fenty,
Fenty.
Nice,
So I
yeah.
enjoyed that it felt, and even like Dior, the merchandising in Boots hybridized the best of department store and the best of
Yes,
Sephora.
yes,
And what
agreed.
they've done in their new
But
shop.
you know where they let themselves down?
They're back in the behind aisle.
Self-service checkout.
Okay.
Fuck you. It
No.
drives me.
I would never.
absolutely
No, we
insane.
had someone that like took us on a
Of course you did. That is not
was
the
lovely.
customer experience. Now,
No.
to be fair,
Yeah.
if you're buying beauty, there will be a lot of tills at beauty.
yeah.
But if you're going in and you're just picking up and shopping, they will
Right.
say, "Can I direct you to a self-service till?" And I say, "I'm sorry, no, I don't work here.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to check myself out."
Yeah, no.
What
We
is
needed to
served
go
me? Why has it become standard that we have allowed retailers
to let us do
Self-checkout.
work.
Yeah.
to do the job? And then people who work there sometimes get arsey, as we would say. But I'm like, dude, I'm trying to save your job.
Yeah.
Put people on a counter, interact with your customer.
Yeah.
It's so lazy, it drives me to
That's a really
distraction.
interesting
It
perspective.
is. Yeah, I
It
never thought of it
drives
that way.
self-
Do you know what?
Self-checkout
Do you know what the
was
American
killed.
perspective is? Save time.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Have them,
Yeah.
them.
For those that want them.
But do you know how many people, elderly people, go into Marks and Spencer's
And don't know,
and
yeah.
Boots? That's the only interaction they get with a human being, and you're going to put them to a machine.
Yeah, you're right.
Zara in the UK. When I went to Zara,
Wow.
oh my God, I'll never shop here again. And
Yeah.
it's not just me. Like they lost my mum's custom, and she lived in Zara. You go in and there's a big, like a bucket.
You know, it's so funny
You
you
put
say
everything
this
in?
because I got really aggressive the other day at Zara because
Yeah.
they made me do my own return.
No.
And I'm like, if that was the case, I would have shopped online and done my return by myself.
Absolutely not. I don't care
I
how
don't-
rich you are. You do not make your customer work for you in that way. I'm sorry.
I literally had to search for each garment
Stop
on a screen,
Stop it.
select it,
it. They are killing
and then
retail.
yeah.
Wow.
Well, no one I'm not shopping in that. I
would
said I'm
n-
never shopping in store
I would
again.
never do this again.
Done.
Done. So they're going to lose the retail space, and then the problem they're going to have, which they're not looking forward.
Where are the stores? Everyone's going to be buying out and renting out stores to live stream.
Well, also, if
Not
put
wrong.
it this way, Zara. If you think of Zara on the high street and H&M,
Yeah.
they have huge real estate.
Yeah, they do.
They are noticeable, but online, everyone's the same bitch.
Yeah, they are.
So if you're going to take all your business,
And they're
away
not
from
exactly the
stores,
best online either.
They're terrible online. So you need to make sure your store experience is amazing, and it is terrible.
Yeah.
You are known for having terrible service, and this is no shade on the people that work there. It's not their fault. It's the management down.
Right.
So
And
you've
that-
got a
and
terrible
the thing
retail
is-
experience, a terrible app.
When you really break it down when it comes to fashion, like where are the fashion advisors inside a store to help guide you as to what to buy?
They're teaching you how to do your own refund.
Right.
Like, fuck off. I'm sorry.
Right.
Absolutely not. I
And
will
that
not
goes
do
back
it.
to when I talk about retailers and we sat down and when we first started, we made ourselves a capabilities deck. Literally what we're capable of as the Lipstick Lesbians.
In that 6 month.
In that 6 months of like,
Such type A women. I fucking love it. I'm like, what am I good at? Da-da-da-da.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I've made a list. I also have a shit list.
yeah.
People who I will come back and haunt if I have the energy when I die.
Yeah. We should name one of those.
Justin, you with me? Yeah.
It's like the
that.
guy.
I may forgive. I don't forget.
Yeah. That's
It
fair.
doesn't mean you take up any space in my brain.
No.
But if your name is mentioned in
That's
a certain
funny.
room, I will make sure it doesn't get any further than me.
I think I have a list like that too.
Oh, you definitely
It's
have
in
a
my
list like
notes
that.
section.
Yeah. You definitely have that list because I'm feeling the energy. You have that list.
But no, basically, like we speak about how everyone now is taught to sell, including influencers.
True.
They're not taught how to teach.
So when I started,
Yeah.
doing, I basically took what I do now has come from the shop floor. So on the shop floor, I would get people, and this is 25 years ago, I would get people in Space NK Richmond, which was the first store I opened as a manager. I'd been a manager in St John's Wood and Harvey Nichols, and I would get people queuing up to meet with me for skincare advice.
I love this. You were doing live esthetician
Before
seminars.
I was qualified.
Yeah.
Then I was like, I love this, and thank God I had the brains to say, more people will listen to me if I've got qualification.
Yes.
So I went, and of course I'm type A, so I don't just go and get like an NVQ level 2, which is the first one you do. My daughter's done it. There's nothing wrong with it. I went straight to SIBTAC. Give me the one that has the most hours. I've got 2 kids. What could possibly go wrong? I work full time.
See, I would love to
Give
go.
me more and
I
more and
would
more to
love
do.
to go do a course on becoming an esthetician
Like, just give me more to do.
because I want to learn
Yeah.
Yeah.
more.
So I did night school. I did it through 2 pregnancies.
That's wild.
I mean, it was what? Now I think, no wonder I'm tired now. Like
Yeah.
I've earned the right to be tired. But I was
But that's the foundation of your brand right now and your business.
So I did that. And then when I went into store as a consultant and I was doing training, so the backbone of training is
Right.
you tell them who you are, you tell them why they should listen to you, you tell them what you're going to tell them, you tell them, and then you repeat what you've told them.
Yeah.
That's training in a nutshell. In the UK, it's like
Yeah.
if you're going to do basic training on the shop floor, you're like, here, I'm Caroline, I'm qualified in this and this. Today we're going to learn about this. Here's how you do it. Recap. How did we do this?
Yeah.
That's basically what I did on the blog.
Right.
And then when I went to YouTube, I did the same thing. And then
And that's your framework.
yeah.
By
With
the way.
Instagram, it's and so you'd find yourself going, so let me make sure this makes sense for you. Dum 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 dum. And if people would go, oh, I'd go, got it. I do a lot of food analogies. I'm known for.
I
food.
love
Oh my God,
food
Alexis loves food
analogies.
analogies.
Love a food analogy
Oh, come
all the
on.
time
Because
I'm
people
like,
get it. You know, when
I
you talk
say,
about a certain,
when
you
you're
know.
buying a sandwich, the bread is good, but it's the filling that makes it. Spend all your money on your treatments.
Yeah.
Good cleanser, good moisturizer, great to have. If you've got
extra
$50,
money.
do 10 cleanse, 10 moisturize, 30 treatment.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh, I'm like, the filling is more important than the bread.
Unless you're a bread lover. Because you want to be in the shower bathed in luxury and you want
Go
the
for it.
sensorial, you know.
Go for it.
And I'm also that person that would buy like the bespoke bread that's like the freshest.
Sourdough, fresh,
You know?
bougie, obviously.
I would go to like there's a shop. I have 10 body washes in my shower right now. It's a thing.
I have about 6.
Yeah, it's like you need the
It depends on my mood.
Exactly.
I have cheapest original source mint and tea tree.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just want to make sure you're clean.
Yeah.
And it sets your fanny on fire, so why not?
Yeah, I used to have we used to call it was called Intimistic. I would get it from like the salon, and they would like all these Spanish women would get it from like a certain town and they would sell it in the salon. But I haven't had that in a really long time. You just reminded me. I like the set your fanny on fire. I like the feeling of the zing, of the fresh.
You know, in the UK, fanny means vagina.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, we
fully
got it.
aware.
We had to educate them early because I was like,
Don't worry.
Justin's like, this whole thing's bringing education. These British girls are like, because Katie Hughes and I was like, and then good luck with the fanny.
Yeah.
She just started IVF. I was like, good luck with your fanny. It's very,
We love
south-
KJH.
She's great.
She's like, thanks, love. And then we had to say, by the way, in the UK, fanny is front, not.
No, we want the zing.
okay.
I'm telling you, it was minty fresh.
Minty
Nothing
fresh.
better in the
Sometimes you need
summer.
to wake up. I like fresh lemon, sugar lemon fresh is my favorite. I've loved that since they came to Space NK in 1999.
Oh,
The
fresh,
minute-
right.
Brand fresh. The minute I opened Sugar Lemon,
There's a
I'm like,
boutique
oh, I'm
on
in love.
14th Street. If you
Oh,
like
God,
in
get
here
me
in this.
started. I've got enough to carry home.
Okay.
But yes, I am the same. I liked it. It depends on my mood.
It is, and that's also just what people don't realize about body care. You're touching yourself, and there's a
intimate.
sensation, and you're literally like, we have receptors on our skin to feel. You should be feeling something. You should actually use the time to connect with yourself, and that's part of. I know we talked a little bit about the course. Part of more of where we want to take our content is more waking people up in the aspect of feeling and
You're going
connecting.
to say waking people up
No.
in the arse. I was like, well, we've taken another turn.
No. Yeah, It's really in the aspect of feeling, emotion, connecting to themselves with the beauty product. So
And I think they already do it, but it's subconscious.
it is
Yes.
subconscious.
People
So
don't realize that they have such a deep connection to beauty.
They don't.
You know, it's the hardest thing to get people off, which we haven't even discussed, is what's your favourite mascara?
Oh, yeah.
What's your favourite mascara?
I like the Rare Beauty mascara.
Yeah.
Oh,
Her lashes are very like she has space in between her lashes, and it helps. Sometimes the mascara for Christina will clump the spaces and will connect the lash too much. Like a tubing on Christina will make her look like
Yeah,
she
I
has
don't
spider
really like
eyes.
tubing.
I hate tubing. I don't know anyone that likes tubing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Some
it's
Some people
great.
I
really
hate
love
tubing.
it, you know?
I
Like,
know people who love it go with God, but it's
Yeah.
not for me. So what's your
It's for
favourite?
really specific. Recently I've been using the new Charlotte Tilbury Exaggerize.
I didn't like that.
It's very fanned
I like
out
that one
effect.
too.
I didn't do it for me. I prefer Legendary Lashes.
Her original
I
or
like
yeah.
Volume 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
Legendary.
you know what I went back to in the last like 2 days that I forgot how much I loved it and I have it on today? Chanel Le Volume. The ultimate mascara.
Ding, ding, ding,
The
jackpot.
best mascara
They're all-
of
see, now they used to, even Justin's going to buy one. KJH and I this morning.
it's the best.
And I said, favourite mascara, and I said, well, at the moment I love why I selected, but
Yeah.
really I'm always a Chanel Le Volume, and she
Yeah.
went, I love Chanel Le Volume.
Best
So,
mascara ever.
Hashtag
Best
not an ad,
brush.
The best brush.
Best brush.
Easy. Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom.
It just does it
Recoat,
all.
Boom, boom, done. How
That's
fucking-
funny.
I'm in love with you both. Okay. Now we're going to do really quick fire. You ready?
Go, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Yes.
Ulta or CVS?
Ulta.
Oh! Ulta or Sephora?
Oh, this is like asking between children. Mood driven.
It is
Okay,
mood driven.
great.
Sephora
Where are you
makes
going
me-
for Sephora, where are you going for Ulta?
Ulta is for me when I want it all. I want drugstore. I want mass. I don't want
Masstige.
to. I want.
Big
I want
hair,
it all.
think, of
And Ulta is like inviting. If I'm feeling down or sad,
Yeah.
Ulta's sweeter,
It's cheerier.
cheerier.
Sephora
It's
to me is
joy.
New York. Ulta's like Kansas.
Correct. Correct. It is. It's middle America.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a vibe. When I want to I want luxury. I want my Sarah Creel. I want things that I want to discover my soft services body care. I want more elevated premium luxe. Sure, let's go right to Sephora. Let's get in.
Sephora or a department store. All right, how about Sephora or Bergdorf's?
Bergdorf's.
I mean,
Bergdorf's. I want the service.
there's someone that works at Bergdorf that I never want to see again, but
Okay, fair.
she's on the list.
Bonnie, give it to me. Give it to me. I'll have it taken care of. But I would have done a Barney's.
Yeah.
Bendel.
Henry
I
Bendel.
walked through a Henry Bendel
Yeah.
before it closed.
I loved
Yeah.
Henry
That's
Bendel's.
one of my most favourite moments in beauty. I was walking through Henry Bendel's
Yeah.
like this.
Yep.
And this guy jumps out of Benefit and says, and I quote, I'm going to show you how to take that redness down.
Yeah.
I went, excuse you, sir. I'm sorry. Am I red? You know, you're like,
Oh, they were.
dare you? And I just walked off.
I mean, it again, status. It was an experience, service.
Henry
Yeah.
Bendel and Barney's never felt snobby.
No,
Bergdorf's
it was
felt
cool.
snobby.
It was cool.
But it's still service.
Yeah,
They're
it's
gonna
the
be up
service.
your butt. And I want, if I'm going to go and spend money on you, I want you up my butt and on vacation.
Yeah.
Take residence, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get that in Sephora.
I went
No,
to Bergdorf's and they were giving us champagne. And the service was
I
extraordinary.
mean, yeah,
you
we
know,
bought
like-
we bought these beautiful it was an iconic moment.
Yeah.
The Lipstick
It was-
Lesbians
it was a
bought lip
milestone
earrings.
for you.
Lisa Eldridge.
No, we got
No.
Scarpelli. What I'm this
Schiaparelli.
Why am I going to butcher
Oh,
this design?
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful lip earrings. Those
Lisa makes them.
Yeah, Lisa
we
does
saw
make them. We
this
saw
and
them.
thank
She
you for
was
reminding
wearing
me.
them.
Actually,
We do have to buy those. We told
Yes.
her, yes, we're going to buy those.
and I know they're on her
You did the
website.
train, didn't you?
Yeah.
This was before we did Lisa Eldridge, actually.
Well,
We brought
the
these to
earrings we
London.
brought
Yeah,
these
yeah,
to
yeah,
London.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we've only done one question, by the way. Bold eye or bold lip?
Oh
Bold
shit.
lip.
Lip.
Yeah, I mean, I'm both, but I'm more so the bold eye.
See, it's the wonder you're married. Dewy or matte?
Dewy.
Mood driven. I don't know. Alexis also does my makeup if we're at events. So
Yeah.
what do you think? What am I more dewy or
Your
matte?
skin prefers
Dewy, right?
matte,
Oh, really?
but it always
Matter today.
yeah, her sheen will always pop through. So we're always new.
Don't you hate that in a
Yeah.
good-looking bitch when they're just like, "Hi, I'm covered in powder, but look
She
at my
wakes
nose."
up looking. I call her my angel cherub goddess.
Oh, it's really sweet.
Just like my husband. No.
the
husband
best
rolls
sheen.
over
I tell her every
Why you
morning.
call me that? I
Yes.
have the sheen.
You're glowing in the morning, and I'm like,
dang.
I may as well call you fucking moon dang. But no, her skin really I don't know what it she does. She literally just puts. She doesn't even exfoliate. This girl.
No.
I have to tell her and remind her.
Expensive.
Yeah,
Shouldn't
we
have been allowed
we
on.
get her dermaplaning, but she had it's her hair, skin, nails, like
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
she
Oh,
just
I don't know,
yeah.
it's all effortless.
Exactly.
Lipstick or lip gloss?
Oh
Lipstick.
God.
With KJH, I had to say, or lip liner. She went, lip liner.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, yeah.
So you're a stick.
lipstick, yeah. for
Yeah.
sure.
But what about you're a balm girly and like an oil girly? But
I
you
still,
yeah.
no, lipstick. You know
Yeah.
why? It's because when we formulated our lipsticks, I use those lipsticks so much, and I just love it. I love the sensation of a
She
good
likes
lipstick.
cushion, Christina.
Yeah,
She likes to
yeah.
feel it.
Nice.
Hydrogenated polyisobutane, drench my lips, wrap.
Because
That's
everyone
sexy
goes
to
around
me.
talking
Yeah.
like that.
You know?
AM routine or PM routine?
PM.
My God, the morning is a ritual. I like to put the makeup on. I fucking hate taking it off, but I'll do it because you got to. But yeah,
Again, yin and yang.
yeah, you're a nighttime like.
I love my
She
nighttime
loves her
ritual.
shower, the teeth
What do you
brushing.
cleanse with?
Oh, you cleansing? Oh, sorry. I'm like,
The road pineapple.
yeah, but what about your cleansing balm?
Oh, the cleansing
addiction?
balm. Yeah, all these different. Well, I'm
Yeah,
like
I like
rotating
mine.
cleansing balms right now. I'm not
Yeah.
loyal to one. I'm using a whole bunch. I'm using the Garnier. I'm using the Clinique. I'm using the
Elemis.
Elemis. Yeah.
Mm.
That one, yeah, you've because I have like 7. Oops, sorry.
Full conversation.
Is he okay?
Don't mind us, Justin.
We're just doing a podcast.
We'll just cut that bit. Makeup brush or makeup sponge?
Well, I like a makeup sponge, but I'm not a like makeup
You don't have
artist.
to defend yourself, babe. You're allowed to
No.
love a sponge.
I do like a good sponge.
Yeah.
You know, I like the beauty blender. Like,
yeah,
I just don't know how to use them. My daughter
Yeah.
uses them. I'm like,
I'm a brush girl.
brush.
yeah.
I have some brands that I've been enjoying more, like Japanese. I always mispronounce it. I'm like the R.
Reefer?
Yeah, Reefer. Like that, the
I don't know
Japanese
if
brush
we're pronouncing
brand.
it right. Disclaimer.
REFR. Yeah, I need to learn how to pronounce it.
R-E-P-H-R, no?
REPHR. They have a website. They actually do like product developing with their audience, which is cool.
That gets you turned on.
Yeah,
You're like,
and
"Like,
it
oh,
does.
great."
It does. And then they have the size of the brush is the best part. It's not too long. It's not too short.
That's the best.
Well done.
Not too long. You need it just the right. City break or country escape?
Country Escape.
Country Escape.
Shopping online or shopping in store?
Online.
Shopping
Zara.
online.
I mean, for makeup
Makeup
in
in
store.
store.
For
Yeah.
everything else
Everything else
online.
Dogs or cats?
Both.
I love cats. Yeah, I love cats.
Our whole feed is cat videos. Alexis, our
What's the last one
algorithm's
you
all
read?
messed up.
I'm a Taurus. Leo, Gemini.
I'm a Pisces. What are my other ones?
You're a Pisces, Taurus, Gemini. We share Taurus and Gemini. We're both rising Geminis. She's a Taurus moon. I'm a Taurus sun. But I'm a Leo
I'm
moon.
a rising Gemini.
Yes.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'm Leo, Gemini, Sag moon.
Yeah. So we share 2
My
signs as well.
daughter describes it as exact words because Ava goes deep into it and
Oh,
describes
cool.
people to a T without knowing them.
I love that.
And everyone in the office who thought it was like hokery pokery, after she spent 4 hours doing everyone and was exhausted, she was like, Mum, can I have some food? I'm like, yeah, just keep going. She did mean, she basically said to the team, what it means is that my mother has no internal conflict whatsoever. And everyone in the office just went, oh, that makes sense. And I went, what do you mean? And she went, see? I was like, well, what do you mean? She was like, you don't ever question what you're doing.
You're
What you're
yeah,
doing.
yeah, you
And I
know.
was like,
You
well,
just
That's
go.
amazing.
and everyone went, yes. I was like, why?
Yeah.
Make the decision and go. And they were
Right.
like, oh my God.
Done after
Well,
that.
some
Like,
people
you
they marinate.
No,
yeah.
I only marinate food. Sweet or savory?
Savory.
That's an interesting choice for you.
I'm
I'm
not always
surprised.
sweet.
No, I'm definitely a savory. I was more taken aback by your answers.
Yeah, sweet after savory.
Well, yeah. Christina loves chocolate, so it's
do.
always a piece of chocolate. And we have this one vendor that we love, this Italian supplier.
Contract
who
manufacturer,
every
yeah.
time we see them, they give us a bag of chocolate from another interesting.
It started because we met them on Valentine's Day and we were eating chocolates around a bonfire.
And then now
And
every
now
time we
it's, like,
see, so
become a
now we have
thing.
this
It's actually
collection
really sweet.
of artisanal chocolate, and I
From all
swear
around the world.
from
And
all
it's
around the
like-
world. And I'm like, every time somebody comes
Now we know
over,
what we're sending them. Now we know. Okay, heels or flats?
Flats.
heels, if I can stand in them.
Shoes or bags?
Bags.
Bags. All day long.
Yeah, I
Size 10 feet.
I know, me too. Yeah, I'm like bags, but
I'm
like
always in sneakers
I'm
because
getting
shoes
into
fit me.
shoes. Yeah,
When they fit me,
Yeah.
great. But they invariably
these
don't.
are really cute.
These
Yeah.
are men's though. I mean, I got them, I think, because the men didn't buy them and they were in like some. And they're like, I'm not wearing that. I'm like, thank you, sir. Night in or night out?
Right now?
Night in.
Night in, baby.
Night
Room
in.
service and a tub.
Yes.
And a bottle of
Give us a
champagne.
good tub.
Just to give you
That's
all
what we
the
did.
details.
We actually won an award at a conference called Beauty Connect, and we wanted to go to
We
the
tried to go
rooftop
to the
bar.
rooftop at the, yeah.
And we had these flowers and the award, and we were so excited. We were going to get cocktails because we didn't really drink that much. We were like celebratory moments for drinking. And they were like, you can't go up with the flowers. We're like, all right, fine. So we were staying at the one hotel in WeHo. So we go upstairs to drop off our flowers, and then we decide, you know what? Let's just run a
We're
bath
too tired.
and open champagne. And that's exactly what we did, and it was the best.
Welcome to your 30s.
Yeah, wait till you're 50. You don't even have the conversation. You're like, I'm going to have tea and I'm going to be good with it. Now, the next question doesn't apply unless you went there when you were in the UK.
What was
Probably
it?
not.
We'll have to do a comparison. It's Nando's or Wagamama's.
Oh,
I have
Nando's
no
is the
idea.
chicken shop.
Yeah,
And
Wagamama's
Wagamama's.
is like Japanese sort of fusion
Yeah,
noodles
yeah,
type
the
thing.
noodles. We've had Wagamama's. We had
In
it
the
at the airport.
But
Yeah.
that
But
doesn't
I've had
count.
it, but that doesn't count. I've had Nando's like because one of my friends studied abroad and lived, and I've been to the UK like, and I also my first, if we can call him this, boyfriend, whatever.
This is a whole other podcast.
That's a whole other one. He was from the UK, so I've been a few times. But I promised Christina that we're going back in 2025.
Yeah, we're hoping to go back in January.
We want to
So-
like actually do a proper visit. We want to like
and you know, so much of
do a community meetup.
so many beauty queens in our
We want to go to
comments were like,
Dublin. We want to like do it right.
are you doing a meetup?
They're
We did a
just
meetup.
like the most.
The Irish.
Oh my
are
God,
insane
the
for
love.
beauty. They're insane.
I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
I need it to be explained to me
Yeah,
because
the very first event I did in Dublin was for Sunday Riley in
Right.
Space NK,
Wow.
and the line was out the door. And this is 10 years ago. The line was out the door. They bought me so many gifts that I had to get extra luggage home. It's nothing fancy. It's like tea bags,
Yeah.
crisps, like drinks, biscuits.
oh my
all
God.
very Irish food and drink. Ireland is the most fun you will ever have on your 2 feet.
wow.
Yeah, well, we're gonna
There you
go.
go.
It's being spoken and it's happening. We're
All right,
coming
Ireland, we're
2025. We're
coming.
doing
We're
like
coming.
a UK little tour. We have to.
Yeah,
we
no,
said
have
this,
to. Yeah,
but
no, we do.
You have to come.
We're
to
working
this
on
so
it.
we can.
and we have to go to Liberty and we have to
go
like
Liberty and see the girls.
we have to go to Selfridges
Yeah.
and we just have
You didn't do any of that.
We didn't have
we were only
time.
there for 2 days
because we had to go back to LA for
the award.
the award.
We didn't know
Otherwise,
if we didn't know if we were going to win. We were just like, but we need to be back,
Right.
You know. But it was
otherwise we would have stayed for like a proper week. But
So come
that was
back.
the original. We
we
will.
need to
Do a
come back.
list.
We need to. Come
Yeah,
back.
we need the
So
list.
we're thinking Nando's. You would be chicken.
Yeah, I'm a chicken girl,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
Okay.
Alexis
now
loves
the
chicken.
final question. The final question, which causes more discussion when we do the pod than anything, and it has absolutely nothing to do with anything. It's what's your favorite sandwich?
Oh shit! I can answer this in 2 seconds.
Okay.
There's a shop that's
This is
Florence
what we want.
based originally, and they opened it here in the village. Antica Pump something.
I really don't remember
They
the name.
bake fresh focaccia and they infuse it with olive oil.
Oh my god.
Fresh focaccia infused with olive oil, arugula, prosciutto. I mean, are we there?
It's bringing made in Italy to the USA.
Yeah,
I mean, this is a very
abso-fucking-lutely.
appropriate answer, actually.
So yes, basically prosciutto, focaccia, arugula, a little bit of balsamic, and maybe cheese. It doesn't even need it, but it's there for you as an option, like the mozzarella or whatever it's called, mozzarella. Yeah, that's. I don't eat gluten and I don't eat dairy 90% of the time. When I am craving that, I eat both at the same time, and I'll
And you
even
just
have a
suffer it
glass of wine.
afterwards.
Yep,
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
suffer it
it just
afterwards.
is what it is.
It's a great sandwich.
If you're in, you're in.
Yeah.
What about you, madam?
I would agree. I think fried chicken sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a fried chicken
That too.
sandwich. Like it's like
Fried
it's
chicken,
so
I think, is
good.
food of the gods.
It is.
Yeah, you know.
Just the best.
I love chicken too, apparently.
Yeah. Well, fried chicken sandwich. My God. Yeah.
Well,
Windsong you
ladies,
should have.
What a pleasure.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you
It
for
was
us
so
too.
What a
fun.
pleasure. I mean, I could
Yeah.
sit here for 4 hours.
I know.
So
My ass is
basically-
falling asleep, so
No,
we're gonna have to
no,
go.
no, we're going to stand up and do. We're going to be good. We're going to stand up and do a chat to a C.
Yeah.
So, what do we have to look forward to in 25? What are you doing? What are you bringing us? Give me a hint.
The course number 1, number
Definitely
2
the
in the spring, a little bit of disruption, maybe a lot of disruption.
We're gonna see how it's
Something-
received.
We're gonna see how
testing.
it's received. Yeah, we're testing. It's a new business model. It's a new concept, and I promise you, it encompasses everything we've done digitally, and it essentially brings it to you physically to the best of our ability.
I would love to help you be disruptive. If I can help you. in
Yeah.
any way,
Thank
just
you.
let
Thank
me
you.
Thank
know.
you. We'll let you know.
Because anytime you see people who are going against the grain, but actually aren't, you're actually just stepping in front and going, this is how it's done. You're stepping in front of the wizard's curtain
Yeah.
and being like, this is how it's done. And it doesn't mean it's anything bad, but this is how it's done.
Right.
because you'll still get pushback when I explain the margin on things and what we can talk afterwards about like the cost of the product.
I saw some of your branding of. I was like, "This is ballsy. Good for you, Queen."
Yeah, like,
and I liked it.
Our product, if
And
it
people
was
are going to
one of the
want
big
that.
10,
Yeah.
would be 4
be?
times the price.
I was just going to say.
Easy, because I don't put.
You got me at the $70 cleansing balm. You got me on the cleanse. I'm like, we got to know what's going on with the cleansing balm.
See, we're going to film you doing the crunch.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank
much
you.
continued
Yes.
success,
Thank you.
and thank
Thank
you
you.
for being champions of education over bullshit.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's what
The
it's all about.
dream.
That's so sweet. Thank you.